excellent students do their schoolwork?
They do better than their best at all times.
How do excellent students treat one another?
With kindness and respect.
How do excellent students treat their teachers?
With kindness and respect. How do excellent teachers treat their students?
With kindness and respect. What are you on the road to?
College!
The Natrona County School District began focusing on goal setting in 2007. Goal setting in classrooms was one of 3 key strategies in the district improvement plan at the time, and teachers began receiving training in the PDSA model to start setting goals for their own instruction and classes. Since then, however, the model has gone even further. Superintendent Dr. Joel Dvorak has said that the entire district will focus on a continuous improvement model. Staff members from across disciplines are working on setting goals, measuring data, and using strategic actions to improve their work. So just what is PDSA?
And it's really the idea of continuous improvement. The P talks about plan. What plan do we have as we move towards some kind of end? We want to improve in reading, for example. What plan do we have to improve in reading? Okay. Then we carry out the plan. We do it. We carry it out. We go after whatever components we said we would have to do to meet that goal. Then we look at the data that we collect, and that's the study part. We've carried out some kind of a reading plan. We've carried out a specific reading strategy. So we're trying to collect data on how we did with that plan. And then the A on PDSA is action necessary given what we know about, given what we learned about the data. So the data is always the driver for our next step, and it's a cycle. These are not events. This is a cycle. PDSA. It's a cycle. There are opportunities here to do PDSA on a regular basis in any classroom in the district, and quite frankly in any department in the district.
At the district level, PDSA is being put to work on the 5 goals in the strategic plan.
We have 5 strategic goals in this district, and the first 3 are all focused on some kind of an academic component. We want to have 100% of our kids reading by the end of 3rd grade. We want to focus on being in the top 10% on state assessments, which basically includes the pause. So we're talking about reading, writing, science, and math. 3rd goal is about dropouts and trying to work on addressing the needs of kids that are disengaging from our system. How do we do that? And so when you just think about those 3 goals, and the other goals as well, we know that we have to ask the question, how do we know we're getting better? How do we know things are improving? We can't wait for the annual event of getting the pause scores back to decide if indeed things are getting better. And so we need to break this down and focus more on a process of continuous improvement.
The same principle is at work in many classrooms throughout the district. Though PDSA is possible at all levels, at present elementary schools are finding the most success. The following are 3 examples of outstanding PDSA models in NCSD classrooms. The first is Amanda Yentz at Mills Elementary School. She used PDSA models throughout the 2008-2009 school year in her kindergarten class. Her students had both classroom-level goals and individual goals that were constantly evaluated and refreshed.
At the beginning of the year, we came up with our big math and literacy goal, just kind of where we wanted to be at the end of the year. And then about once a month, we go through, our plan is the same. We're going to meet our individual goals in literacy, math, and behavior. And then every month we go through and think about what I'm going to do, what they're going to do, what's working, what's not working, and how we're going to make sure it gets done. And then I set their individual goals with them every week. We sit down, and their goals are on their spelling test and their MAD minutes, which are the Ames Web probes. And then their behavior goal is something that can be measured, like with our ladder system or Maverick tickets, something along those lines. And then our charts here, if they meet their goal, they get to put a sticker. And then our overall goal is if an average of 10 kids every week of the month get, any of these goals, then we have some sort of celebration. They started out a little bit shaky, but they're getting really good at knowing what's going to be within their own reach.
Fellow kindergarten teacher Erin Jackson used PDSA both for classroom and individual goals at Evansville Elementary. She used essential curriculum as well as the school's curriculum to identify the plan, and her class charted success and evaluated their plan on a weekly basis. She also used extensive PDSA at the individual level to help students set their own goals and track their own learning.
Have all the literacy first and all the other assessments on there. This is just the reading skills broken down. As they pass it, they get a star, but they get to see that they earn that star and they know which skill they're working on next. They know that she needs to work on taking off the last sound of words. And their goal is just to get more stars. They're not comparing, they don't see anyone else's folder. They just know they want to get more and more and more. In there, they also have their letter ID test, and they have a graph. She happened to come in knowing all her letters, knew them all again, so now I'm not worried about testing it continually. But there are some kids that started out small, and they could see that growth. Whether it was compared to anyone else, they knew that their effort caused their graph to go up. So that was motivating. So they have that for letter names, letter sounds. This is their math assessment, so I check it often and they get a star, again, if they meet that skill, like knowing their numbers. These are based out of the essential curriculum.
Which you developed this.
Yeah.
She developed this.
They also have a graph for how many numbers they can read and represent. So they also have things here about keeping track. These are their writing levels. She came in writing at a level 1, went to a 2, 4, and I sit down and fill these out with the kids. And we talk about what they need to work on next and what they're going. So this data folder's not in my hands, it's in there. They're excited, they're enthusiastic, they know where they're going, and they can see their growth. It's showing them that effort does make a difference. It's not just luck, it's not those that are just good at reading are going to be good at reading. If they work hard at whatever they do, they can accomplish it, and they can see it.
Finally, 6th grade teacher Jessica Winford implemented PDSA for reading, math, and behavior in her Bar None classroom.
This is our math PDSA board. What we have is we have Plan, Do, Study, Act up there. We have our plan, we have the overarching standards for geometry and ratio, rate, and proportion, which kind of fit together for the 6th grade standards. We have specific goals for geometry and specific goals for ratio, rate, and proportion. And you can see up there we've circled words that are action words that they're going to do. We've underlined the things that they're going to study with those action words so that they kind of know what those standards are. And it's not in kid-friendly language, it's in the adult language that teachers use, but we've broken it down so that they can understand it. Under the do, we have a logbook that we do every day and a quick check that we do every day. We also use vocabulary, we build, we do art, and then we have blank medallions up here that they can add to that do list so that they can come up with something new. They decide that they think using string is going to help them one day to do something, then we can put that up there and that becomes one of our do's. We have our math vocabulary up there, and then under our study we have the different graphs that we're charting. We have the unit from the last graph, the graph from the last unit up there for a cumulative concept check. That was our formative assessment that we took throughout the unit. You can see that it climbed every single time. We didn't get to where we wanted to be. We wanted 255, but we got to 250, so we were close. So that's kind of what we're looking at for our next unit. We know that we did it really well the last unit, so we're going to do it really well this time. So we have our formative assessment graph up there, quick check, which is like a mini formative assessment that we do each day, a logbook, which is where they explain their answer in a written form. We have math homework return, so we chart our homework every day. And then we do the same act that we do with reading. So at the end of the week, we take our sticky note word, what didn't, and then that helps us to choose our do for the next time.
These are just a few of the teachers right here in Natrona County who are making goal setting work for their students every day, and who are seeing real improvements in their students' learning as a result.
The nice thing about goal setting is it can occur at any level. So we have kids setting goals for themselves. We have teachers setting goals and partnering with their students to set goals for the classroom. We have divisions setting goals, and ultimately we have a school district that has set 5 goals.